Hi, Ravi and Deepti.
Hi. Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
So, welcome to the fourth episode of Purnamadah, where we get a chance to listen to real life past life experiences, and journeys, and how it has impacted the lives of so many people. And we're going to hear them straight from horse's mouth, so to say. So, we have with us today Dr. Deepti Jain. Welcome, ma'am. Dr. Deepti Jain is a occupational therapist. She is a life transformation coach, and she has been doing a past life regression. She's been practicing this for the past 20 years, over more than 7,000 people, and many more through facilitators like me. So grateful to have you on the show today, ma'am. Welcome.
Thank you, Ravi.
We have Dr. Deepti Bhandari. Welcome, Dr. Deepti. Dr. Deepti is a clinical psychologist with doctorate in neuropsychology. She's a gold medalist in clinical psychology. She also has experience in training multinationals and national corporates. She is currently the director founder of Astitva Being Foundation, an NGO dedicated to mental health and spiritual well-being based on cosmic and Vedic science. Welcome, Dr. Dipti. We welcome you to this show. Looking forward
Thank you. Thank you,
to hearing
Ravi.
your journey and your beautiful experiences thereof. With that, I pass the mantle to Dr. Jain. Please do lead on.
Thank you, Ravi. Thank you, and welcome, Deepti, once more.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I wish to express my gratefulness that you allowed yourself to be the guest on the show and share all your wonderful experiences with everybody who's going to listen to you. So, Deepti, if we start at the beginning, um, as a young person, you start out once life starts.
Right.
And I think in your life, when you were very young, uh, things didn't work out in the way that possibly you wanted them to. So can we start at the beginning? Because when you read a story also, you start at the beginning. And here also to understand you as a person and the various experiences you had in your past life therapy, I think beginning would be a great way to start. So tell us something about your youth and generally as a young person, what were your expectations and dreams? What
Great.
happened?
True. So, when I was young, I was a very happy-go-lucky child. And as I grew up, I was confident, quite quick in making my decisions, making up my mind of what to do, how to do, such kind of a things. And definitely when we grow up, we have a lot of expectations, a lot of ambitions as well. And that actually turned around a lot with my marriage. But before marriage, one incident took place wherein I had just entered my bachelor's and I was starting to learn more about psychology. And one of my friends came up and told me one day that, you were very arrogant initially. And that was a shocker for me
Yeah.
because I am a shy person. I'm not very quick in interacting with strangers. So I keep it to myself always. So, and slowly when I am able to see, okay, this is a person and this is a frequency, whether it will be able to match or not with mine.
Right.
And then only I go to the person, associate with the person and so forth. So, but then I started thinking that why there is so much of discrepancy going on. I was not being arrogant and not talking to you. I was just being myself. I'm not a person who comes out of the cocoon so easily.
Correct.
So then definitely, uh, the societal pressure or other pressures that, cognitions that develop during the youth, that okay, you have to get married at certain age. And definitely, as I studied more and more psychology, and you observe the family around you, you get to
Right.
understand, okay, these are the deficiencies that are there. So, and again, internal pressure, you know if I get married, I'll be able to leave the house, the
Ah,
family,
yes,
running
yes.
away.
Running away.
And now, looking back, I can really see that this escapism
Hmm.
or that running away tendency was very, very high in me then.
Right, right.
So these were my young days, where being from a very happy-go-lucky child,
Yeah.
uh, as time went off, I became rather more anxious.
Okay, so Deepti, I want to ask you,
Right.
uh, do you believe that when you run away from something, you get
Mhm.
out of it, or you feel that what you run away actually follows you?
When you run away, it actually follows you. You can't get rid of it. You have to stop. You have to confront it.
That's
Because
right.
till you confront it, no solution comes again. And I have personally experienced it, mom, hard on, just very, very hard on. Because I went through a difficult marriage, and even after divorce, I was running away. I took an
Right.
admission abroad. I went through the process and invested my own money at time, that okay, whatever it takes, I need to go away from this place,
Correct.
right? But three times my visa was rejected without any proper cause. And that was like, what is happening? I need to, confront myself. And before that, there were certain things which prepared me, in which your show that came up, Raj Pichli Janam that prepared a lot. Because during that time I was actually exposed already to the very best-selling book, Many Masters Many Lives, from Dr. Brian Weiss. So yes, I mean, today when I look back, I feel that one has to get out of the blame game. That
Yes.
is a very, very big learning, though it is tough to implement in practical life. But once you do it, when you internally realize it, so many doors open to you. They literally open to you, which you could not have even imagined. So that
So,
is.
so can you tell us that moment when you decided that I need healing? I need to heal myself because I'm not able to heal the others around me. I can't even run away. I can't escape because those doors are closed. So
Right.
that moment when you maybe woke up in the night and felt that I have to heal myself, or like the book kind of motivated you, or the show motivated you, but still it's not enough for some people. You may read many self-help books, but yet you are not helped.
Right.
So I think there is that moment of insight, or like when God just speaks to you and says, "Wake up." So when did that wake up moment come? That talk about that moment. That's so important for us.
Right. So that, yes, the Dr. Brian Weiss book prepared me. I even applied to your show to to get into and unresolve my issues,
Yeah.
but I was not selected that time. But during the time I read that book, Many Masters, Many Lives, that very night I had an experience.
Okay.
Now, that experience was, I know that I'm sleeping, but I can still feel two huge master souls in my room.
Okay.
Now, they are like touching the ceiling, and the ceiling of my roof is like 11 feet, not like
Yes.
the Mumbai flats that it's 9 feet tall.
Correct. Yeah.
So they are towering, and I'm feeling so such a small person in front of that energy, in terms of energy.
Yes.
And
Yes.
the whole night they were there, I could understand that though I'm sleeping, still I'm aware. A part of me is aware and awake.
Yes.
And in the morning, when I woke up, actually, I had only two numbers that came to me, and that is still very vivid in my, edged rather in my soul.
Yeah.
That 918 and 315. Now I was very confused that, oh my God, now what do I do with these numbers? How do I decipher them?
Yeah.
Because it's not easy to decipher. But suddenly it came to me that a colleague of mine with whom I was working at during that time,
Yeah.
she had a book named as Angel Therapy, and that contained a section called as Angel Numbers.
Okay.
So I called her up and I asked her that, I required the meaning of these numbers, and please guide me through with the book being the basis. So then she guided me. The 918 means that, you have to work on your life purpose now. It is a wake up call for you. And 315 roughly meant that things are changing in your life, but you will be supported all through the universe, all through this journey, you will be supported.
Wow.
And believe me, ma'am, after that instance, not one moment has occurred where I have not felt their presence in my life. And that was the moment when really started calling myself a blessed being. That I am a blessed soul. That, so many blessed people are around me. And, there is always a way out. Because prior to, even separating with my ex-husband, I was contemplating suicide, and it was a very very big deal because when you have those thoughts, you just don't know any way out. It's a black hole. And I was blessed enough that I just wanted to bring up a very beloved friend of mine, that the thought was that before dying at least I should talk to her. That was the level. So I just called her up and we started chatting. And because after that time, I was not very forthcoming with my friends about my issues in marriage.
Right.
So then we had a very short conversation, I believe. But she told me one thing, that, Deepti, no one is worth and nothing is worth dying for in this lifetime. So, and that has stuck with me like anything. And I want to tell people very, very desperately that please, please take any help. Take any help. Call any one person in that bleakest moment, because I know how that bleakest moment feels like. But there is always someone, and even if there is no one, doesn't matter. Your life is precious. You are a valuable being, contributing to the world, contributing to the entire energy system. So why bother? I know at times, when somebody is depressed clinically, it is very very difficult for them to understand. But only one thing has to be stuck onto, that there is a way out.
So fantastic. I think this, you have hit the nail on the head, especially, against the backdrop of, the unfortunate passing of Sushant Singh Rajput. There have
Right.
been a lot of people who've been very shocked and taken aback. And I think, even the corona, the ill effects of, mentally the way people are being affected. I think you're going to be a real, these words are really going to inspire. Just make a phone call, just reach out. Even at that lowest point when you're numb, just remember, there's nothing worth, there's just a way out. This will pass, and
Yes.
I give you a lot of respect, and, hats off that you were able to just, you were guided by the angels, so to say, to make that one phone call. And
Right.
that saved, and it's so nice that we can have you here today because of that one phone call.
Right.
Yes, Ravi, that's so
And
sweet of you.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
that one phone
it's
call
one
to a
phone
friend.
call, just one
Yeah,
conversation and one line and one statement at the right time, and they're guiding us. But just for the average listener,
yeah,
ma'am, I'd like to sort of pose this question to you. What, when Deepti ji talks about angels,
yeah.
what is how would you like to, sort of explain the existence of angels and their presence, and more about angels for the ones who are not initiated?
Right. So, I believe that each one of us must have had a moment called, aha moment, where suddenly from nowhere, uh, a word, a thought, a sign starts coming to you. And that is coming from a space which is not physical, because nobody's speaking to me. I can't hear somebody's voice, but I can sense that there is somebody who's helping me, or who's putting a thought in my head from nowhere. Now, what is that presence that kind of connects to you at that moment when you're the weakest? Or sometimes, you have a feeling that I have to do something, but I'm not getting motivated to do it. And then suddenly, like a voice comes in your head, people call it kind of inner voice. And that voice says, go ahead, do it, you know. And remember that these voices, these signs, these spiritual signs come to you, and they take you, they move you forward, not backward. That's the important thing to understand. How these messages come to us is, they can come to us like for Deepti, I'd say that maybe that book that came to her, Many Lives, Many Masters, was like a spiritual sign for her.
Right.
Or, just that whole experience that she had of these two master souls, and the feeling that she had that she was not sleeping nor was she awake, but she was in this world between wakefulness and sleep.
Right.
And in that world between wakefulness and sleep, these things can happen, Ravi. These messages can start coming to you, and you have to just allow them to come. Don't doubt.
Yeah.
Because when you doubt something once, twice, thrice, then angels say, oh, this person is a doubting person, let him just stay. Right? So the thing is that let these messages come to you. I have this client from Dubai, and he once he'd come for a session, and he told me that he was at the weakest moment in his life, and he was also thinking of committing suicide. And he was just sitting near the window, and a feather, a white, like a feather, silvery white feather, just floated
Wow.
and came to rest, maybe on his palm or somewhere close. And and he said that moment he just picked up that feather and he looked at it, and something happened to him, and he forgot the thought of committing suicide. And he felt there was a message that this feather was giving him. And suddenly the thought angels came to him. And, he took that feather, and he said, even today, after many years, he has that feather in his book. And then
Wow.
he asked me, what do I do with this? And I said, because you have connected to angels, why don't you keep it where you pray?
Mm.
And then he's kept it where he's praying. So these spiritual messages, remember, Ravi and Deepti, that when we are no longer in the physical body, we are going to be in the spirit world, in the light
Yeah.
world, and in that light world, just like here we have wise mentors whom we go to, gurus and mentors and teachers. Well, when we are no longer in the physical body, we're going to need some guidance, right? So in that space, we are going to be guided. You can be guided by archangels like mentors and guides, and their messengers who are angels. They will guide us, they will help us. As light beings that we are going to become, we need light beings to help us. And in this physical world, while we're in this matter, this material body, these angels can talk to us, they can speak to us, not through their voices, they have no voice, right? But they can drop some wise things to us. So I think feathers and rainbows, some people tell me that when they see the rainbow, all positive thoughts start coming to them.
Yes.
So how are these angel beings going to communicate to us? They have their own ways of communication, I guess. So they say rainbows and feathers, and suddenly you find a coin,
Yeah.
and then you feel, oh my God, it's a special coin. And then you keep it, and you treasure it. And they also say seeing, butterflies. Butterflies are like the wings, right? Like dragonflies, butterflies, maybe these wings. So these angels come to us. And I'm so happy, Deepti, that God sent them to you.
Yes.
And interestingly, Ravi, when did she have that experience? That's also very important. They say a book can change your life.
Yeah.
A thought can, like a saying can change your life. In Deepti's
True.
case, all thanks to Dr. Brian Weiss, I think we've all read him. And he's been a huge inspiration to move people into past life therapy like me and like all of you now.
Yes.
So I think we need to just pay a little gratitude to Dr. Weiss today and thank him for writing that book and writing so many other books also, and being like a kind of dronacharya to all of us, where we
Yes.
never met him, but we know him.
We
Uh,
know. Yes.
isn't it? So
Yes.
Deepti, that book, was angel sent.
Yes, because it did come out of blue to me. Just a junior referring to me, and I was like, when will I get the time to buy it and go and see?
Right.
I have it with me. I can lend it to you.
Imagine.
I was like, okay, let me just go through it
So
then.
I'm going to ask another question, Deepti. Have you met that junior after that? Communicated a lot to the junior? Is that junior your great friend or anything like that?
Yes, I met him because I had to give him back
The book.
book.
But post that.
Post that, no, I have not met him actually.
So he was your angel, my dear.
Definitely.
So angels can come to us even as people. They come to us, they give you something that you need at that moment, and they never meet you again. That's
True.
how God sends these messengers, right?
Yes.
Wow, amazing, Deepti, lovely. Very, very nice, very nice. So, Ravi, anything else you want to ask Deepti?
I just another observation. She mentioned that three times her visa was rejected, and I think
Yes.
that was a big sign for her also to stop. Take a stand. This is it, and from now on, you're going to take things head on. You're not going to this escapism is not for you. You're not made for that. You're a strong individual, and you're going to face things head on. And I think that's probably after that.
Absolutely.
There's that
Yes.
has come your life.
Absolutely.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
Absolutely.
that
That was
that that sign from the universe also is fantastic.
True, true,
yes,
true.
So
absolutely.
positively.
Because
So,
the
yeah.
last time I was coming out of the embassy, I was asking myself, what do I need to learn? So that
Yeah.
orientation took place then and there.
Awesome, Deepti. Awesome, really. So then, how did the healing begin? We're all interested in knowing. Why did you choose past life therapy, and then, how did that exploration process start? Share with us that.
Yes, ma'am. So it is like your show was already running at that moment, and somehow, connecting to you directly didn't occur to me. Okay, because that was a distant thing, going to Mumbai, or even that can take place. That
Yes.
happened quite late for me.
Right.
But I had started looking for a therapist, and consecutively it happened. There was a national conference I was attending, and there was this other person who is my former therapist. She was there, and then I asked her that, because she lived not in my place, but she had her house, her family there. So I asked her if she can come down and she can start giving the therapeutic process, because I had by then become very much interested in PLR, so past life regression therapy. So that somehow internally felt to be the right approach for me.
Right.
Because psychotherapy, I was already into the field, I was doing the therapeutic processes onto the
Correct.
other people. So the relapse rate that comes in with the conventional therapies and the tools we use as a clinical psychologist,
Correct.
that was already making its way into my life. So I asked her, and I was again, as I said, I was blessed enough that she made her plans, and I started off with the therapy. So her format was quite different from yours.
Right.
Her format was like that, she would take 5 sessions in row, one session each day, 1.5 hour. That is the duration, and then she'll let 2-3 months pass away, and if you feel that the issues are remaining,
Right.
which in case sometimes it is bound to remain, uh, then you again go through those 5 sessions, and you have to repeat the process through and through.
Right.
So likewise, I spent minimum of 30 sessions with
30.
her.
Wow.
Okay. Tell us more. Tell us more. Yes.
And it is an interesting part, because 30 sessions in themselves is a huge part. You have to invest a lot of time, a lot of energy and effort on your part, though you have to just see the past life, but that emotional aspect is always there.
Correct.
So out of 30, I would say some were very, very vivid. They were so vivid that I cannot, remove them from the soul, the remembrance that I had. So one of them was about me being a high priest in Egypt. So till then, I didn't know what a high priest is, though I had a love for Egyptian mythology, and previous to that, I had already, bought a book on Greek mythology, and going into it
Yeah.
deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
So, but uh, the that male persona that came up,
Hmm.
that occupied a lot of space in me.
Okay.
So the
Okay.
arrogance that persona carried,
Hmm. Hmm.
the the masculine side that it carried with me, and there were subtle many other things that that personality carried with itself, and I was not aware till it was released off.
Right. Right.
So that was a huge eye opener for me, and that happened in the initial, very first stage of the therapy settings, of the first 5 settings. Um, so that created, for me, that it created, okay, in definitely, I live in a very small city. So at that point of time, I wouldn't find any other psychotherapist or a counselor as well.
Right.
So I went on with this format, because yes, I started getting results out of it. So some of them were as vivid as this one that I've shared with you. uh, I would say on an average, 50% of them would be like from a third person perspective, or as if like when we see a movie,
Right.
though at times we get engrossed, get emotional in the movie. So I'm getting emotional in the movie, but
Correct.
I don't really have the remembrance or even the learning I integrated
Right.
thereafter.
Mm.
So that is not very clear, or as of now,
Right.
for me.
Right.
So that is one thing, but each past life is distinctive, that is for sure.
Mm.
My personal experience says that at some point I had to stop it, though there were very other facets in personality which were coming to surface.
Right.
But I had to take a break, because yes, time, money, energy, these are involved definitely. But apart from that, I realized that I have to learn a way to to walk this journey on my own now. I am prepared enough to
Right.
take it my own way, create my own way. Because obviously, there, when so much of sessions happen, kind of a dependency on the process and the
True. True.
therapist come into.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. I think this is very important, Deepti, that you pointed out that integration is equally important. Not only can experience, because you can experience many things, but if you don't
Yes,
integrate what you've experienced, then you become dependent on only the experience, and not integrate all the various past lives that you have seen. And 30 is a huge number, Deepti. It's a
yes,
very, very big number. You were like Catherine for that therapist.
yes.
So
Awesome.
that's exactly my question. I mean, fantastic. I mean, 30 is a lot. I mean, I'm sure you there's a lot of energy, as you rightly said. It takes a lot of energy, and so when you started off, I'm sure you had some insights that you were searching for,
Right.
and at one point, did you feel that that these insights have have come to me, and probably one would not require more than say 5 or 7, as you rightly said, sessions to achieve these insights, because 30 is a lot.
Yeah.
And with all due
30 is a lot.
regards,
Yeah.
you're, you're a strong soul, so to say. But a lot of people who may not, for them, I don't know if 30 is a lot. What do you think, Dr. Jain? I mean, isn't
Yeah, 30 is a lot.
recommend?
And no, also I think we can ask Deepti that question,
Yeah,
because now that she herself is doing past life therapy,
yeah,
maybe
perfect.
how is she doing it? What is the format she's following? Because obviously it's all her learning, right? So, Deepti, as a therapist today, would you do 30 sessions on somebody? Or what is the kind of format you're following now?
No, no, ma'am. 30 is not, I would do on my own. And I have now created my own format wherein we first go to the deepest level of the core issue. I prepare the person that, okay, two facets of the continuum, one person has to see to completely come out of their issue. So, if you are ready for that, then for a particular issue to get resolved, I think more than 2 sessions, no, 2 past lives is not required. If the person is ready to see himself or herself as a victim and the perpetrator both as the source of the problem, herself or himself, then you don't require multiple sessions at all. You just
Right.
don't require.
Right.
And even if the person is not ready, then I do it, only 1 or 2 at the max, and let the universe take its course. Pray to the universe for that particular person, that take care of him, and
Right.
prepare to
Right.
see. I know there are many of people who, like me, I was doing, blaming others and escaping, right? But I then pray for them. That's all I do, and I then tell them, and I ask my guru Babaji Maharaj, also Mahavtar Babaji, whether the soul is prepared for such kind of intensive sessions or not. If
True.
they are, only then I guide them through this. Otherwise, the conventional things and other parts
Therapy can be
that
done.
come,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
single therapeutic session is very quite enough for
Correct.
most of the people.
Yes, yes. So Ravi asked the question as to how many sessions is
Yes.
required, and like Deepti also, I would take a single session, and like she said about the core, so the core issue or the issue, basic issue. So just to give a
Yeah.
little insight, suppose somebody comes to me and says, "I'm having a problem with my husband." And I want to know what is the kind of relationship issue that I'm carrying from a past life. Now when you take down the case history, Ravi and Dipti, you have an idea as to what is the kind of personality of this person. And it's not that she's having issues with her husband, she could be having similar issues with her father or her mother or her siblings or a friend or a boss, right? That means there is a pattern. She also spoke about a pattern, right? So when there is a pattern, it is coming from some source. So it is better to target, maybe she has a sense of, let's say, kind of worthiness issue, or she could have an inferiority complex, or she could have been abused in childhood and she feels that all men are not to be trusted. So she could have some issue, like a statement needs to be created, because that itself becomes the induction statement, right? So when you target the belief or the kind of limitation because of which the person is suffering, then that becomes an issue to deal with in your past life session. So you can do a single session, let the person remove the belief that is causing the pattern, so the belief goes away, right? And then ask the person, that's what I do, I ask the person to wait for at least 2 months to see the changes that have that the session has actually brought about. And most people, I would say 99% people never come back for the second session. But yes, if you have a psychiatric ailment, let's say kind of OCD or depression or neurosis, something like that, the client may require 3 sessions, spread over possibly a year. So that once the session is over, another session maybe 2-3 months later can bring up another facet, and then the person doesn't need to require to come back. So most of the psychiatric ailments, Ravi, 3 to 5 sessions over a span of a year is what we could take. And then for people who have simple issues like, personality related issue, fears and stuff like that, do a single session and wait and see whether the client really requires another session. Because like Deepti rightly said, 30 sessions means imagine the amount of garbage coming out. Right? And then the stink of that garbage, if you're not able to take it, then you suffer, right? So sometimes doing multiple sessions doesn't serve a purpose.
Right.
It actually doesn't serve a purpose because, I mean, why do so many sessions is what would be my question. So, well, Deepti went through 30 and I'm sure it has helped her. because every session is going to bring up something for her. Like she rightly said, there were some which were very vivid, some which she cannot remember or recall. Some could be just, kind of metaphorical sessions that come up, which are not really something that's going to move you forward, but give you some insight into your life. So that's awesome, Deepti. Really awesome. So when
But
did you decide that that's it? I want to now move ahead and integrate. Any point like when a session came up and you said, okay, this is my last one, no more.
Yes, that came up,
Yeah.
truly came up.
So
Because
share that.
that was I was that time in posted in Gurgaon and working in an MNC, and I was dedicated enough to move from there to take up these sessions and continue with these sessions. And then thereafter, my therapist told, okay, this particular thing will be resolved in the next layer of when you will sit down. And I was like, no.
No more.
With no offense to her, but there comes a time where I had to look and devise a method for myself.
That's true. That's true.
That
Well
I
said.
cannot be more dependent on the process itself. I have to focus more onto the lessons or the learnings in life and integrate them.
Right.
So accessing the right learning and integrating the right learning into the practical life, that became my mode to work through, because challenges are going to come all through life. They are not going to stop
True.
for you.
True.
So one layer will go off and then another will come up. It's like peeling off the onion. So it is going to go till the moksha is there, or till we achieve some kind of sainthood at least.
So
So
after that,
yes,
after how long did you attempt to do a session again?
after that I think I did 3 or 4 years. There was a gap of 3 or 4 years, and then your workshop came up. That time I used to live in Mumbai itself, so I was like, I need to attend this, because my mom and dad were there with me for my mom's chemotherapy and all. So I had a lifelong friction with my father.
Right.
And though when I came up in the workshop, when I came up to you and I asked, I want to resolve my relationship issue, resolution portion was going on, and I wanted to resolve my issue, resolve my relationship with my husband. You guided me through that, go to the core point. Is it the husband you want this point to be resolved, or is it someone else? And when I went to my place and again said, thought about it, it came up that no, it is with my father that I need to resolve it. Because the whole life I have felt like, he is the person controlling me. He teased me. So, whenever he teased me, I felt it is the wrong time to tease me. So, it hurt more. It
Right.
pinched more in the point where you are feeling more vulnerable.
Right.
So, though he had been a very supportive person during the transition of my first marriage, we're very supportive, and okay, whatever you decide is going to happen. I'm not going to force it anything. I'm not going to, impose anything onto you. But still, some of the other frictions were there. Now, there I don't remember exactly the life, though it was very vivid for me. But a very, very major turning point also came up there for me.
Okay.
And that was, I was able to see myself as the perpetrator or the controller in his life,
Mm.
there the roles were reversed.
Correct.
Okay, I was the male, he was a female,
Okay.
and incidentally to a place where we all four people in our family loved to go there whenever we were crossing that area. So that was a big shocker. Okay, this place has popped up. Oh my
Ah,
God. And
correct.
then seeing myself as the perpetrator,
Mm.
that was a big turning point. That was when I truly came out of the blame game.
Wonderful, Deepti.
You
And that's so interesting, Ravi. Seeing
Yes.
yourself as a perpetrator, which you can't imagine yourself to be, and then when you put yourself in those shoes, you suddenly realize that what people are doing to me, I have done to them. So
See,
now the whole blame comes on me, right?
know? Right, ma'am.
I mean,
Absolutely.
just imagine seeing yourself as a persecutor or a perpetrator can get you out of the blame game. I mean, that's amazing.
would you
That's
like to, would you like to
truly
share?
amazing.
Yeah, Ravi, go on.
Would you like to explain this concept of perpetrator in a simpler language where a larger audience would be able to understand what Deepti is? I mean, that's fantastic insight. This is such a fantastic point.
Yes. Yeah,
Themselves as a
so
perpetrator
basically,
and
yeah, correct. So
a
basically,
victim.
Ravi, remember that past life therapy or past lives, or it's all part of our Hindu culture, right? And
Yeah.
we believe in the theory of karma.
Yes.
Yeah, as you sow, so shall you reap,
Correct.
right? So what you have done is being done to you. Simple, right?
Right.
And when you are caught in this perpetrator victim cycle, what happens is one lifetime I'm a victim, second I'm a perpetrator, then victim, then perpetrator, then victim. And now to bring yourself out of this cycle, you will have to get to that point of realization that, oh my God, I am, because I feel victimized. Yeah, remember, a victim only will go to find out more about himself.
Right.
Yeah, a perpetrator will never come to us and say, oh, I'm doing this to somebody, please help me. Yeah, a victim comes to us, right? So
In
that
this lifetime.
yeah, in this lifetime. So the victim needs to see a life of a perpetrator. It's like looking at both, polarity. Deepti spoke about that. Look in a continuum from
Yes.
one pole to the second pole. I can't be stuck at the victimized space. And that is why I don't think that if you've seen one victim lifetime, you need to keep seeing victimized lifetimes. Because then you are gaining energy on that pole.
Hmm.
So the more victim lifetimes you see, the more you feel terrible about yourself and all the world around you, right? What a terrible world I'm living in. So how does it help you? So when she saw a lifetime of a persecutor, perpetrator lifetime, she moved from this pole to the opposite pole. And then when I see both poles and view it, I'm able to come in the center. So that's how important the lifetime of a persecutor or perpetrator is. And I believe everybody must see a lifetime of a perpetrator. It gets you to
Fantastic.
believe,
Yes.
it gets you to believe that the opposite person is just like you. That, we always speak of the concept of oneness.
Right.
How does that concept come to me? It only comes to me when I believe that, oh my God, he is a persecutor. Well, I was also a persecutor in some lifetime. I've also killed many people. So I stopped judging others. And that is freedom. That is the liberation that past life therapy can give us.
Definitely.
So awesome, Deepti. I think Ravi and me are getting such amazing insights
Lovely.
while we listen to you, isn't it, Ravi?
Absolutely.
Awesome. So that was an interesting session. You took the person as your father and you worked on that. And then
Really.
you saw yourself as a perpetrator of your dad, where you were a male, and he was a female, right?
He was a female, yes.
Awesome, awesome. So,
And
did that help the relationship with your dad? Can you
oh,
tell us how the transformation happened there?
absolutely, ma'am. Because a lot of negative energy was lifted, and I am able today. Today, I'm living with him, and his ways has gone down a lot, and that is amazing for me. But at times he would be in a mood to tease,
Sure.
but that doesn't come and pinches me at all.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I have been able to realize that when I am the source, only I have the power to change it.
Awesome statement, Deepti. When I'm the
Nobody,
source, I have the power to change it. Beautiful.
nobody else can. The behavior remains, but you are not affected by it.
Wow, Ravi. Yesterday, I'm gonna. Irmala said the same thing. Today, Deepti is saying the same thing. I think it's just getting, reinforced for us and for the people who are listening to Deepti. Awesome. I also want to say something here, Deepti, because I know that your mom passed away some time back,
Yes.
and I just want to say that sometimes the person with whom we have to resolve things remains with us.
Yes.
And the person with whom we seem to have created a closure, and we've got all the love and affection that we needed, and that person says goodbye to us.
Absolutely.
So that's really how relationships are. And so we have to understand this beautiful journey that we take with people around us, and who leaves and who remains. That also has such a deep meaning. And for you, Deepti, that's a amazing revelation that why dad needed to remain with you.
Absolutely, ma'am. Absolutely. And
Yes.
I was definitely very close to my mom,
Yes.
and I was prepared, years back for this as well, when I had a out of body experience.
Okay.
So I was quite young at that time, around 13, 14 years.
Yeah.
And till 28 years of life, until I read Dr. Brian Weiss' book, I was not aware what was it, and I was always searching for it, that what was it. So I was just taking some medication, because for a long time before that incident, I was not well. And all the trials and medicines were not working onto me at all. So I wasn't taking a medicine, I just fell off. I don't know how it happened, what happened, but I was just pushed out of the body. And I'm on the opposite wall of the room.
Yes. Yes.
Now, obviously, my mother and father were in another room, and they rushed me, they picked me up and, on the bed, and they were like, "What happened to you? What happened to you?" And I was like on the opposite wall, I am here. I want to tell you, I am intact. And I was like, how do I tell? They are not listening. I'm not able to communicate. And again, after some nanoseconds or some seconds, I was pushed as it is into the body. So that is a very, very vivid experience, etched deeply in my soul.
Yes, yes. Out of
So,
body experiences are unique. They may not happen to everybody, like the way it happened
yes,
to you.
absolutely.
But obviously, we do experience, Ravi, out of body experience when we go to sleep.
Yeah.
And when we dream, and we have these vivid dreams sometimes, they seem so real to you that,
Yeah.
and there are times also that, when we're sleeping, we don't feel we're sleeping, but we are awake, So that a little
Very surreal.
surreal stage also is all like a typical out of body experience. But that we are not conscious. Here she's conscious that she is out of the body, and she
Yeah.
is seeing the body from the outside. So it happens suddenly. It can happen with a startle, with a noise. Some people have that experience, or even can medication sometimes can give you
Hmm.
that experience. Anesthesia also gives that experience to a lot of people.
There
So
have been many
that's
documented kind of stories, documented,
correct.
and people have spoken about this, about lying on the operation table, and
And
for a brief this thing, they are looking down on their this thing, the bodies,
absolutely, yes,
and then sort of coming back and being resuscitated and sort of
yeah,
brought back.
yeah.
So,
So that's awesome, Deepti,
beautiful.
having an out of body experience at a young age.
Yeah.
It can shake you a little
Yeah,
because you don't know
I'm
what's
sure
going
it did.
on. But I'm sure it did also shake you a little bit, right, at that time?
Yes, because I was questioning what was this.
Yeah,
For next 10 years at least, 10 to 15 years, I was questioning that.
yeah,
But that made me realize that, my parents were focusing on the body.
mm.
I am not my body only.
That
Wow.
awareness, that
That
awareness.
awareness
Wow.
is a very, very big thing.
Yes, yes,
Right?
Deepti.
So I was kind of prepared when my mom passed away, and she actually was on a path of recovery during that time, and it was like just suddenly we were going to hospital for her, and we came up and see my father came up and told that just see, she's not moving, she has not moved from a long time now, so let's see. So and then I recognized that no, she is no longer. But I had asked Haftar Babaji, I then asked her soul as also that please let me know you are happy, you are good, however you are, just convey that message to me. So there were two instances when she gave me that message. Just after 2 months of her passing, she came in a very radiant, happy form to me that, all is well. You need not worry about me. And that was a very good time. Though I took rather, because I suppressed a lot of emotions at the acute moment. You have to be in public and you have to, I have this bravery trigger in me that I have to put on a brave face in front of
Front.
people.
Yeah.
So the processing was a bit slow, but after a while, after 1.5 years, she suddenly came one night in a dream, and she also started telling me about her astral life. So how are the astral planets? So she named two astral planets and told me, okay, these are, and this is how we live over here as of now.
Awesome.
So that was the point of closure for me, wherein I said, okay, mom, I want to rest. I want to sleep. You can go now. So she
Like,
said she
yeah,
accepted it.
you just let her be. Yeah, you
Let
just let
her
her be.
be, because in between time I was like, I miss her. Yes, I miss her right away as well, because Mm, with her my relationship was soulmate relationship, absolutely no struggle, no difference in opinion, and it was just flowing with the flow. It
True.
was like with her it was like that. So but then these experiences were preparing me and made me come out of that grief that comes when a loved one goes away from you
Absolutely.
physically.
It's
So
true.
that was really, really wonderful experiences that prepared me to
Yes.
this.
So Deepti, after doing so many past life sessions, when was your last past life session? We'd like to know, because you seem to be like this kind of encyclopedia of past lives. So maybe like the last, like you decide, okay, now no more. I'll just do one more, and that's it. Then I'll just like go on my way. So, and what prompted you to do the last past life session, and what was it for? Maybe you can share that with us. Yeah.
So after my mom passed away, then I felt that okay, yes, now I can, I have time. I have, I'm prepared to be a mother, okay, and conceive along. But the moment I started getting ready myself, what happened is my husband started putting it, delaying it off. So there, every time I asked him to go for it, every time he will put up a particular reason. Okay, this is so and so is the reason. I'm not prepared. And what happened over a period of 1 year or two, though I had this, an impulse to conceive, to have children right from very childhood. So it was a very big thing for me. And finally there came a point, a time where I could, justify for myself that okay, yes, now I am ready, though somehow I still felt that I'm not ready. But that created a lot of emotional turmoil in me. It was like a impulse, without head, without any heels. It doesn't seize anything. So in 2010, I contracted spinal injury through an accident. So that was way 2 or 3 years earlier. I got married. So till then, it had started 2018. So 2017 and 18 was the time where I really felt that okay, I am ready now, and I can go ahead for a family. So my husband continuously told me, look, your spine is creating many problems for you. So there is already a restricted range of movement that I can do. I cannot do a huge amount of other things. And whenever I'm doing or going for any kind of a stretch or other exercise, I am taking up more pain for myself somehow.
Right.
So that became a very, very painful subject for me. So painful that, I wouldn't be able to communicate what I feel about it to my husband, and I would rather cry and cry and cry about it. So that is when, I connected with you, and we met in the therapist training.
Right.
And it was a very moving experience for me, because when your show used to come, I used to always wonder how these people are able to get distracted and go into the trance in front of so many people, people around, the lights glaring and all
Correct.
sort of things going on. But with you it is always different. So um, that was the first demo ma'am was doing. And obviously there were multiple people in front of me, but as soon as I slipped in the trance, I was just unaware of the entire world around me. And I was so engrossed. That lifetime was so vivid for me, into that character, wherein ma'am assisted me in a virtual labor and let the child come out into the world.
Wow.
So that was very, very distinctive. And I have never had that kind of experience before. So,
So, what changed after that experience? This urge to be a mother. How did that? What happened? What was it?
so one, again, what reinforced in me was that, the denial of my husband is nothing but my own projection onto him. My unconscious, that part of mind we are not aware of, projecting through him to me.
Mm.
So the denial is ultimately mine,
Right. Right.
not it is not a conscious denial. I want to go ahead, but unconsciously I am preparing a ground where I cannot.
So, if you can just share what that session was like, uh, you know, so just to get some insight to the listeners.
It was about, I saw myself in place which felt like uh, Kutchi area, a Kutch area, and mud hut was there, and I'm alone in that mud, and the husband is quite abusive, and after that I saw that I'm pregnant and there is nobody at the time of labor, there is nobody around me to take care of me, and I'm not confident on myself that whether I'll be able to handle the process on my own or not, or how things are going to take place. So all these questions running into the mind, and suddenly the labor starts happening, and then you carried me forward through the process. And after that, when the despair that I felt when a stillborn is born,
Ah,
and nowhere to go, that kind of feeling, that this was like my only hope amidst a abusive husband, and the things going on around you are quite odd.
correct.
So even that hope is going away from me.
Yeah, and that's so beautiful, Deepti. Ravi, this is so interesting to
Yeah.
understand that, like she shared, she's actually, Deepti, thank you so much. You're opening your heart and sharing. So it's so beautiful for everybody to understand that you have the urge to become a mother because in a past life, uh, you were unable to become a mother. So the urge is there in this lifetime. You have a wonderful husband now. You had an abusive husband before. But what is the soul carrying? The soul is carrying the trauma that, if I conceive and my baby is stillborn, will I be able to continue living? I don't want that to happen. So, somewhere it's me, like she rightly said, resisting becoming a mother. It's got nothing to do with the husband, actually. So,
Right.
how beautifully, we are the creators of our own reality.
Right.
Nobody else creates my reality. I think that's so, it's so visible to us. These phrases, these sayings that we hear is actually, alive when Deepti speaks about her experience. Awesome, Deepti. So that was your last session, right?
That was my last session.
I hope and pray that you don't need to do any more sessions. Your life is now progressing really well.
Really well, really well. The impulse has gone down. I am also readying myself for my spine treatment, whatever it takes to get along with.
Right.
And I'm hopeful that, and most importantly, here I was really able to surrender to the universe, to the cosmos, that if you may bring into my life the joy and happiness in that form, I'm okay with it. I accept it. I surrender to you. And if not be okay, then also it is fine. It is okay.
Wow.
Because uh, love for another being is not dependent on, being a progeny or not being a progeny. That doesn't matter. What matters is whether you are able to love another being or not.
That's true. And you're loving so many people, all your clients, your husband, and father, and everybody else. There are so many beings in this world you can love. You don't need to get a being to love, right? So
Definitely.
that's
So
awesome. Yeah.
if it happens, happens. So I did my effort. So till then, I was always feeling that somewhere my effort is lacking.
True.
So when I underwent that, I felt that okay, I have created a closure from my side, and there need not be any further resistance.
Awesome,
So
Deepti.
at least I can consciously choose to have or not to have a family ahead apart from my husband.
Awesome choice. Ravi, Deepti speaking
Absolutely.
about choice, yeah? I mean, it's always difficult to give up a desire,
Right.
but I think accepting yourself and accepting the love that is already existing is a much bigger reward that you can ever experience.
True.
Yeah,
Wow.
and
Awesome.
what's so important is, she is at every point in her life, she's actually analyzed, she's gone down, she's looked for these answers, and she's not. She's realized that probably I'm denying it, and she's opted for a session for any. I think reading a book. She's trained herself as a doctor. Your life is so full of insights, and you've just worked so beautifully on yourself. Every single issue that I mean, this is huge, about being a mother, and that whole turmoil. I mean, I'm a guy. I don't think I'll be able to sort of relate to that, this thing, at least in this lifetime. But it's so beautiful what I'm hearing about, your turmoil, and how you've addressed that, amongst the whole plethora of things that you addressed in your life. This the insights that have healed you, and with, whether it be with your father, whether it be your journey with your first husband, your own, working with your own self, and coming out and understanding, who you are and where you are at now. It's just amazing, so beautiful.
Thank you.
Absolutely,
Thank you
Ravi.
so much,
It's
Ravi.
just
Um,
so much of healing that we're hearing today.
yeah, actually, we are being healed at another level
Level.
just by listening to Deepti's story. It's so. I'm sure everybody's going to love this. Love
Yeah, this is
Deepti's
this is a
journey.
special episode.
Yeah, it's definitely. So,
Thank
Deepti, any last word, my dear? Anything that you want to tell people, like a kind of a message from you?
Yes, my only request would be, to the larger people, to the larger mass, would be that uh, rather than blaming your own self, you know, we have to start taking the onus, the responsibility that yes, all problems that are there in my life, they are originating somewhere from me. And I have the power to change it. That power needs to be recognized within. It doesn't lie anywhere outside. How many processes you may do, how many therapeutic healings or other things you may go through, but the ultimate effort is ours. And we, until we focus onto ourselves, definitely, the permanency doesn't come in. These
Very
are
nice.
processes, these are tools which a therapist implements, but the power lies not with the therapist, the power lies in you, and you need to understand that. Definitely, past life regression therapy is one of the most powerful tools and technique which can bring about a lot of transformation for any individual, and one should undergo it to see that how we carry certain things in our souls. So that only one experience that brings about a lot many facets of life to it brings forth to you that you are a soul, you are immortal, you only bodies die. So this is the message that I would like to give to the people, that uh, taking responsibility without blaming either self or anybody else, is the need of the hour, and one has to do it.
Lovely, Deepti. Very nice. Ravi, any thoughts coming to you?
I mean, I'm just looking at a wonderful human being who's realized that, who's literally with her own sheer grit, determination, she's realized no longer, is she going to be an escapist? She's
Yes.
things and she's, step by step, like I said, she's addressed everything in her life. And here she is, a wonderful soul. I would say even a really an advanced soul. And,
Yeah.
it's fantastic. It's been such a fantastic session.
I think it's been a pleasure listening to her and her
Absolute
journey.
pleasure.
And I can just say it in one line that let our hopes and not our hurts shape our life.
Right, ma'am.
So
Absolutely.
thank you, Deepti. I
Thank you,
really
ma'am.
thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you,
I
So
am
Deepti.
honored to be with you. I'm truly, truly honored to be with you,
it's
Dr.
completely our honor, let me tell you that. So Ravi, we can close the session, I guess. And thank you, my
Thank you so
being
much,
the
Deepti
anchor.
ji. Yes, Deepti ji. You've really opened up and shared, your journey, and a whole lot of people will sort of relate to what you've been through and get inspiration from that. I hope a lot of people do reach out to you, to Dr. Jain, especially in these times. So whoever is out there listening to this, please, if there's any sort of, if mentally, if you're not really up there, just reach out, go, to a friend or to whoever as Deepti ji has rightly said, and well, save yourself. On that note, thank you, Dr. Jain. Thank you, Deepti ji. Lovely, lovely session.